less. So, for example, for the heart chakra, if someone has a cold or flu, which of course we're now in that season, the underlying gland there has to do with regulating your immune system. And so the energy goes, basically the chakra would be the portal, if you will, for the energy, and is thereby distributed to the various organs or regulators in that area. The body distributes it because we have energy channels the same as we have actual blood. Blood, the veins, are a channel for the blood, for the physical body to be nourished. Well, the energetic body also needs nourishment as well, and it's those conduits, if you will, that carry the energy. You don't have to do Reiki, on a central chakra for it to get to where it's needed, but it's a little more direct. And the beauty of Reiki is that it does not require any form of diagnosis. You don't have to know what's wrong with the person or know what the solution is. The Reiki, again, has its own intelligence, as does the body, and the two of them seem to work really well together. The biggest challenge in Reiki is for the practitioner to get out of the way, to put your ego off to the side, and to simply to let go of attachment to the outcome and allow whatever the recipient needs to happen. It's not always what we want to happen. That's not what healing is about. For example, it's not always about them getting, well. Sometimes it's about offering quality of life and allowing the body to use the energy to reorganize, to transition into spirit.
How did your work with animals begin?
Well, it began with that first attunement in Reiki, actually. It was during the attunement process that I had an epiphany where all of a sudden I realized that all my life I'd wanted to be a healer. I just hadn't known it until that moment. In addition, I also knew to the deepest core of my being that I would work with animals, and that was when it was actually called Wild Kingdom Reiki at that time. It was born exactly in that moment during the attunement process. However, all my life, I've had a strong rapport with animals. I was usually the kid you found under the table with the dog, or, hanging with the cats. I was very comfortable, being with animals, and they did with me. So it's a natural progression, although it wasn't something that I knew that I didn't have the passion to become a veterinarian, but I definitely, once I found Reiki, which was my doorway to all things energy, and from there into shamanism, I found where I really, truly belonged.
I want you to talk about the wolf that sat near you during a major ceremony.
Are you referring to Pimpernel the coyote? Because there was the encounter with Cucumber the wolf, but Pimpernel was the very interested observer at the Peruvian despacho ceremony.
That's the one.
Okay. First of all, I should say that Pimpernel, being at Earthfire Institute, first of all, was a phenomenal experience. And Susan and Ja are just wonderful people, and they have an incredible rapport with the animals there. So our group was relatively small, 15 people, and that made for better interactions with the animals. And we were delighted to discover that they were going to bring Pimpernel the coyote to the yurt, which was where we were having our workshop, in order to interact with us. And we were told that Pimpernel had never been in the yurt before with a group of people. Well, she'd never been in the yurt, and she'd never been with a group of people. And so this was going to be an interesting experience for everybody. And Pimpernel came in, and every Native American trickster story that you've heard about coyote I see why they exist. Because she seized the moment. She came in and she hit the ground running, and she was like, let me try this, let me try that, what about this? We were hiding things left and right. it was this mad scramble, and it was pretty funny. And she would just she wouldn't get upset about that. She'd just go to the next moment, and it was like, wow, talk about a total lesson in, we get discouraged and we feel like failures when something doesn't work out. Not her, boy. She was just like, okay, so what's the next opportunity? Every moment is an opportunity, was what she told us. And we were doing a Peruvian despacho ceremony that day, and she wanted to stay for the ceremony. So she was in her kennel, which was placed right next to me so that she could see what I was doing. And it was really, we'd explain to her, I do the animal communication thing, so she knew, why she was there, to be representative for the other animals so that they could participate in the ceremony and join with us so that we could co-create, a better future for everybody, animals and people together, a partnership. And she watched. She didn't make a sound. She was very alert and completely focused on my on the despacho ceremony.
What is that kind of ceremony? What is it?
It's a Peruvian, well, actually I should say South American, because it's not specific just to Peru, but my training is. It's a ceremony, in this case an Aini despacho, to bring things into balance and harmony. And it's where you create a landscape of balance and harmony in which you place your prayers and your offerings to Spirit, your gifts. It's a very lovely ceremony. It uses all natural items that can be eventually, when it's a gift, so it is literally assembled as a gift and wrapped and then placed and released into the fire so that it can be consumed, so that the energies are released and the gifts can be consumed by Spirit.
What's the distinction between animal communication and what you're representing as Wild Reiki and Shamanic Healing?
Animal communication kind of speaks for itself, where you're having a dialogue with, shall we say, a non-human species.
Do you get flashes? Do images come into your mind? Do words come into your head? How does it work?
It's different. I get a lot of information feeling-wise. I'm more kinesthetic, as in emotions. But animals have communicated with me. Depends on the animal. It can be words. It can be images. It can be feelings. Sometimes it's just a knowing.
Sounds like telepathic work.
Yes, that's definitely the case. And as far as the Reiki enhances, taking a class in Reiki enhances whatever your natural intuitive capabilities are. And so when I do work, say, with the zoo animals or with the animals when I'm going somewhere where I'm going to interact with the animals, I'll use Reiki, for example, to send energy and intention ahead, letting them know that I'm coming. So I weave it into the animal communication. Also pulling in aspects of the shamanic training that I have, both before and during. So I weave. There are essentially three different things that I weave together, which is what we did at the Earthfire, with conscious intention, with a specific, not so much outcome, but a goal, an intention of why it is we're there and what it is we're doing. So the Reiki and the shamanic are energetic vehicles, if you will, that can help support the information that you're getting.
That's clear. I did an interview last week with Philip Lembry, who has an organization in the United Kingdom called Compassion in World Farming. And it was all about the systemic treatment of animals throughout the world regarding industrial farming. And it's clear to me now that we're very far away from most of the planet even being able to accept your frame of reference.
Yes.
I really thought we were closer to it, but after hearing what I heard from Philip, I really have a different view of how far away it is, because the consciousness is not there for most of the world in the treatment of animals. So, I think we're unique here.
Oh, we're definitely more advanced here, and I agree with you. We're far away, which is why why Spirit told me and the animals